Okay, so I have this thing mostly set up. It's tight, bridge is in, pegs are set, bow is ready. I haven't rosined it yet, but that's because I haven't started playing it yet. I'm kind of gun shy with the bow. I've never used this before. Um, this is a lot like sex. Jared, you've never done this before. Don't be so gun shy. Which is funny because I'm not shy with guns at all, so that's funny. But I've just spent about 45 minutes attempting to tune this fucking thing, and like the pegs, the larger pegs for the lower notes are tuned. These two are tuned. These two, the higher notes, refuse to take a position. Actually, this one does. This one refuses to take any position, and it actually moves. I don't know if you can see this. When I tighten it, if you can watch down here the string head, it actually moves the string head from the tension every time I go to tighten it. So that tells me it's too tight. But at the same time, when I just let it go, it falls back to that position. That's way too loose. So I don't understand why it's not taking a position. Why it refuses to conform to a position here when I try to tune it. But I don't want to force it because I'm gonna break it. I mean, it's a wooden instrument. So there's that. Also, I did consider something as I was tuning it, which is that my ears are tuned for guitar tuning. So my ears are tuned for E, A, D, G, B, E, right? So banjo, not a big deal because a banjo is basically just a round guitar. So when I was tuning banjo to A, I can't remember the banjo tuning off by heart right now. A, G, D. Anyway, when I was tuning the banjo to its tuning, I was tuning it as though it's a guitar, and that's okay because it pretty much is. They're fucking wildly different instruments. Don't kid yourself, but they're similar enough that you can tune it like a guitar to a similar tuning. It doesn't affect much. This you cannot. This is not a guitar like instrument at all. There's nothing fucking normal here. So, I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to start trying to train my ears to the tune of E, A, D, G, these four strings, so that I can actually tune it properly, which shouldn't take too long. It should only take a few days for me to just constantly be listening to E, A, D, G, B, or E, A, sorry, E, oh my god, E, A, D, G, E, A, D, G, E, A, D, G. And I have to do it to fifths, because I understand a violin is tuned in fifths, which a guitar isn't. It's tuned in sharp. So fifths are going to be a challenge for me, but I like a challenge, so this is going to be interesting. Shouldn't take me long at all. See, I have the benefit of prior musical experience. So like when you've learned an instrument, it's a lot easier to learn your second instrument. When you've learned your second instrument, it's a lot easier to learn your third. When you've learned your third, it's a lot easier to learn your fourth. Well, this is my fifth. So, I have that kind of benefit behind me. I have that springboard where I'm not quite starting from fucking zero, even though I know nothing whatsoever about this instrument. I know music theory, so I'm not quite starting from zero. But it's just the problem of like my ears are already set to a different tune, right? So this doesn't factor in anywhere because this instrument is entirely it's it's actually I don't even know what kind of instrument. I think it's would it be brass? Woodwind? Anyway, it's entirely mouthpiece, right? So it doesn't there's no like the string there's no string to tune. You tune based on the mouth holes. And you can't change them unless you block it with your hand, which is just a little technique. Um, but this, like, I'm struggling already. It's not even tuned, and I'm struggling already. So, yeah, learning the tune for this EADG is probably going to be a springboard, and figuring out why this peg refuses to take a position and just falls back to that. Like, that's a problem right there. So that's an issue. You can hear that too, right? As soon as I let it go, it goes back down. You hear that? That's a problem. So, because even though I'm trying to tune it into guitar tunes, which is what I did for these two strings are correct by guitar standards, which they're probably not in fifths. They're probably in sharp, but because I tune them by ear, right? So they're probably in sharps. I'm used to sharps, but having said that, even though they're not in fifths, at least these two are taking a position. So when I turn them, I know I'm going to get the right, I'm going to be hitting the right note. It's just a matter of figuring out how to hit a fifth instead of a sharp. This one is not, and that's a problem, man. I can't figure that one out. But I'll figure this out, and then when we do the next one, hopefully I'll have a fully tuned violin. And it's just a matter of not being so trigger shy on the bow, and being okay with making an absolutely dreadful sound on this. That's what it's all about, right? When you first touch an instrument, it just sounds dreadful, and then eventually you develop a talent. That's all a talent is. A talent is just a skill that's developed. Like, if someone asked me, well, what's the difference between a sharp and a fifth? And well, I can show you actually. That was me accidentally unplugging the pickup on my electric guitar as I moved the chair, and forgetting that I left it plugged in the whole time and on. So like I can show you what the difference is, because it's not a whole crazy difference really. It's just one octave lower. So why don't I show you? I'll show you with the G. So like, what's the difference between a G sharp and a G fifth? Well, this is the difference. Sharp, which is a standard chord, actually. Fifth, one whole octave lower. 2 years ago, I would have needed a pick to do that. This has been Music Theory with Jared. Thanks for tuning in.